The two of them staggered to the school gate, with Wang Zibo doing most of the talking while Chen Hansheng hardly responded. He was trying hard to adapt to the Hong Kong city of 17 years ago. After graduating from university, Chen Hansheng felt that the economy in his hometown wasn't doing well, so he stayed in the provincial capital Jian to build his career. He would occasionally return home to visit his parents, but it was always a rushed visit, with no time to pay attention to the changes in his hometown. It was only during drunken nights that inexplicable emotions and memories would rise from the depths of his heart. But by the next day, they were quickly replaced by the busyness of reality. What's the point of me being reborn like this? Chen Hongxing felt very frustrated. In 2019, he had money, status, a company, and subordinates. He didn't meet the basic conditions of a reborn person who should have been a cuckold. Parents both deceased, poor and destitute, suffering from hunger and cold. Fuck, I never wanted to be reborn. Chen Hongsheng couldn't help but curse. Wang Zibo was still rambling about how Chen Hansheng had gotten drunk the previous night and insisted on confessing to Xiao Rongyu, despite everyone's objections. He froze for a moment and asked, "Are you even listening to me?" "Oh, yeah, I'm listening." Chen Hongsheng casually brushed it off, then reached into his pocket. "No wallet, no phone, and no way to pay." He sighed and said to Wang Zibo, "Do you have any money? I want to buy something from the store." "Are you buying water?" Wang Zibo, being perceptive, knew that after a hangover, one's mouth tends to be dry, and it was also quite hot today. "What do you want to drink? Gatorade or cola?" Wang Zibo was prepared to treat him. "Just mineral water. And grab a pack of cigarettes, too," Chen Hansheng replied. Wang Zibo immediately widened his eyes, staring at him. "When did you start smoking? How come I never knew?" Chen Hansheng was a little annoyed. He hadn't realized how talkative his childhood friend was before. He waved his hand and said, "Just need one to calm down." Wang Zibo hesitated for a moment, but still obediently went to buy the cigarettes. The shop was just outside Hong Kong City No. 1 High School. Chen Hansheng looked at the wide iron gate and thought to himself, "This is where my 3 years of high school memories, over 1,000 days and nights, were made." Before long, Wang Zibo came back. "Here, your cigarettes." "Hey, it's been a long time since I've seen Red Tower Mountain." Chen Hansheng couldn't help but laugh. He hadn't smoked this brand since he started working. He skillfully tore open the package and handed one to Wang Zibo. "You want one?" Wang Zibo hesitated for a moment, but eventually decided to smoke one to keep his friend company. Wang Zibo was still very much in the typical student mindset, a bit shy and innocent. He wasn't like Chen Hansheng, who had been heartened by the world. His sense of boundaries was clearly different. Chen Hansheng simply rolled his pants up to his knees, sat down on the curb, and began to smoke, squinting his eyes thoughtfully as he observed the students passing by. Wang Zibo was fumbling and acting all shy as he smoked, turning his head away while quickly taking a puff, then hiding the cigarette butt behind him. He exhaled clouds of smoke, looking like some old-fashioned kettle spout. Wang Zibo was being cautious about his own smoking, but when he glanced at Chen Hansheng, he gave a slight grunt and said, "Xiao Chen, your smoking posture is pretty cool." Chen Hansheng was a seasoned smoker, and even flicking the ash was done with rhythm. "Practice makes perfect," Chen Hansheng replied indifferently, and Wang Zibo felt even more envious. Chen Hansheng's expression at that moment was both pretentious and irritating, but he had to admit it was pretty damn cool. Before they finished the cigarette, a group of people on bikes approached. Wang Zibo quickly put out his cigarette and reminded Chen Hansheng, "Hurry, throw it away." Wang Zibo's actions startled Chen Hansheng. "Are there teachers around?" "No teachers, just our classmates," Wang Zibo explained. Chen Hansheng was about to throw it away, but hearing this, he hesitated, then put the cigarette back. He respected the teaching profession, but as for high school classmates, what was the point of caring? They'd already graduated, so what could they do? The group of students was probably here to pick up their acceptance letters. They were talking and laughing, full of anticipation for college life. When they passed by Chen Hansheng and Wang Zibo, they all stopped. Chen Hansheng's current appearance was rather shabby, showing the weariness of a hangover and the confusion of being reborn. He was sitting in an untidy, sprawled-out manner, with a cigarette dangling from his mouth. If not for his 18-year-old face, he looked exactly like a middle-aged, greasy man. The classmates were all surprised to see Chen Hansheng in Hong Kong City No. 1 High School, an education-focused institution. Girls weren't allowed to have long hair, so smoking was almost seen as a sign of moral decay. Are you all here to pick up your acceptance letters? Wang Zibo felt the need to say something. The group of students didn't reply. Their eyes shifted to a girl in the middle. This girl was really pretty. The hem of her knee-length floral skirt fluttered in the evening summer breeze, giving off a lively and bright vibe. She was at least 1.67 meters tall. Her face had a slight blush due to the heat. With a straight nose, rosy lips, a rounded chin, and clear eyes under thick lashes, her silky hair naturally draped down to her shoulders. As the girl stopped her orange bicycle and walked over, Chen Hansheng could even smell a faint lily fragrance in the air. Chen Hansheng, how could you smoke? Her voice was pleasant, though tinged with a hint of anger. Chen Hansheng couldn't remember who she was. He turned to look at Wang Zibo, but Wang Zibo didn't understand the situation either, so they both stared at each other with wide eyes. Chen Hansheng had no choice but to ask, "Who are you?" Wow. The group of soon-to-be college students let out a collective sigh, especially the girls, who couldn't help but shake their heads. The TV dramas were right. After all men changed their minds so quickly. Just last night, he was confessing to someone. But now, after being rejected, he pretended not to know her. Hansheng, you shouldn't be like this. From the crowd, a tall boy stepped forward with a warm smile. Smoking isn't your style. I hope you can move on from the shadow of your breakup and embrace a brighter future. We're all rooting for your progress. His words sounded like comfort and encouragement, but there was an air of hypocrisy and condescension. Chen Hansheng had been a boss for years. While he wasn't an arrogant person, he didn't appreciate others stepping on him to make themselves look good, especially someone he barely knew. Although Chen Hansheng was sitting on the ground, he straightened his back and calmly looked up, staring at the boy in silence. His unwavering gaze made the boy visibly uncomfortable. Finally, Chen Hansheng broke the silence, his tone sharp and scrutinizing. Who the hell are you? A man who has achieved success carries an air of recklessness mixed with latent authority. It's not something a naive boy, who hasn't stepped into society, can compare to. Even in the art of pretending, this boy couldn't hold a candle to Chen Hansheng. The moment their exchange began, he lost. You're so disappointing, the boy muttered, trying to save face. Then, turning to the pretty girl nearby, he said, "Wrong you. Let's go. Don't bother with someone like him." The girl didn't listen. She took a few steps closer to Chen Hansheng and said, "If you want to pretend not to know me, I can't help that. But I made it clear last night. Tito want to date anyone before graduating from college. If you smoke again, I'll tell your mom." Chen Hansheng froze for a moment. He had just traveled back to 18 years ago and didn't want to reconnect with his parents in such a manner. Moreover, today was the day to collect his college admission letter, and quite a few students passing by had already stopped to watch. After some thought, Chen Hansheng obediently threw away the cigarette butt. The girl smiled faintly, a hint of smugness in her expression. She pulled a bottle of mineral water from her bike basket and handed it to him. "Wash your face. You'll need to look presentable to collect your admission letter." "Thanks, but I've got my own," Chen Hansheng replied, refusing her offer. "Typical hard-to-get act," the boy sneered. "After being rejected, you're just pretending to be cool." But the girl was persistent. Even though Chen Hansheng didn't take the water, she placed it by his feet, snorted lightly, and pushed her cute orange bicycle toward the school. It wasn't until they were completely gone that Chen Hansheng suddenly realized, "She's Zhao Rongyu, isn't she?" "Drop the act," Wang Zibo said, visibly annoyed. "I know you're upset about being rejected, but we're best friends. You can talk to me." Wang Zibo thought Chen Hansheng's behavior was deliberate, a way to save face after being turned down. Chen Hansheng didn't know how to explain himself. He simply patted Wang Zibo's shoulder and said, "Getting into college means we're adults now. Enduring sadness alone is an essential skill for adulthood."